Let me tell you a story about a man whose life has been defined by two words: resilience and redemption. And this isn't just any man. I'm talking about Robert Downey Jr., the actor we all know as Tony Stark, Iron Man, the billionaire, genius, playboy, philanthropist. But long before he became Iron Man, Robert's life was far from glamorous. In fact, it was on the edge of destruction. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a place so dark that you couldn't see your way out? A place where you felt like the world had written you off. Imagine what it would be like to live that way for years. You see, Robert was born into Hollywood royalty. His father was a filmmaker, his mother an actress. He had talent, charisma, and charm. But he also had access to something else: drugs. By the age of 6, yes, 6, he was exposed to substances that no child should ever be near. He grew up with this shadow looming over him, and before long, it became part of his identity. Fame came early. In his 20s, Robert became a rising star, with roles in films like Chaplin, where he portrayed the iconic Charlie Chaplin, and even earned an Oscar nomination. He was on top of the world, or so it seemed. But behind the scenes, Robert was struggling, battling addictions that would soon send his life into a tailspin. By the late 90s and early 2000s, his career was collapsing. He was arrested multiple times for drug possession. He lost roles, lost money, and worse, he lost himself. Imagine this. A man who once walked the red carpets was now in and out of prison, barely recognizable, with the world calling him a lost cause. Hollywood, a place that loves a comeback, had given up on him. People thought Robert was done, finished, irrelevant. Can you imagine the weight of that? The shame? The hopelessness? But here's where it gets powerful, because this is where most people give up, where they throw in the towel and decide that life's knocked them down for good. But not Robert. Something deep within him wouldn't let him stay down. You see, life will knock you down, hard. It'll beat you to your knees and make you question everything about yourself. But you get to decide whether you stay down or whether you rise. And Robert, he chose to rise. After hitting rock bottom, he made a decision that would change everything, to rebuild. Slowly, piece by piece, he rebuilt his life. First, he had to let go of the past. He left behind the destructive people and the habits that were pulling him into darkness. Then, he focused on healing, mentally, physically, emotionally. This wasn't a magic trick. It took years of rehab, therapy, and work to reclaim his life. And then, opportunity knocked. In 2008, something happened that most people thought was impossible. Robert Downey Jr. was cast as Tony Stark in Iron Man, a role that would redefine not just his career, but his life. The same industry that once rejected him now welcomed him back with open arms. But here's the thing, it wasn't just a lucky break. Robert was ready. He was prepared for that moment. You see, life will give you opportunities, but only when you're ready to receive them. And Robert, he was more than ready. Iron Man became a global sensation, and Robert Downey Jr. became the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The same man who had once been on the brink of losing everything now stood as one of the highest paid and most respected actors in the world. He didn't just make a comeback, he transformed his life. Now, let's pause for a moment. Think about your own life. What battles are you fighting? What challenges seem impossible? Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've hit rock bottom. But guess what? Robert's story is living proof that no one is beyond redemption. You are never too far gone. There is always a way back. It's about choices. When Robert chose to get back up, he didn't just get a second chance at his career. He got a second chance at life. And that same power lies within you. You can choose, right now, today, to start your comeback. It may not happen overnight. It may take years. But every small step you take is a step towards a life you want. Robert once said, "I know very little about acting. I'm just an incredibly gifted faker, but I think we know the truth. He's not a faker. He's a fighter. And so are you. So, take inspiration from his journey. Embrace your struggles, learn from your failures, and keep moving forward. Because like Robert, your comeback story is waiting to be written. All it takes is one decision, the decision to never give up. Remember, it's not about how many times life knocks you down. It's about how many times you get back up. And trust me, you've got this."